గురించి నేర్చుకుందాం. సో నిర్మల గారు, modern methods of pedagogy లో what are the different methods of teaching and learning methods?
First we will see what are the traditional methods of teaching, learning, political science or history or whatever it may be. Lecture method, question answer, storytelling, reading the textbook and case studies. These were the traditional methods of teaching learning process. There are modern methods of teaching learning, political science or history or any social sciences. Debate, dialogues, discussion, lived experiences, comparative studies, community resources, current events, dramatization, role play, empirical research, excursions, field visit, field research, visits to institutions of government bodies and different places, individual projects, group projects, observation, panel discussions, problem solving, reflective inquiry, report writing, seminar and various other sources. Debate, everybody knows what is debate. We have to give a topic to the child. The child is able to understand and say how it is, what it is. Debating discussions going on in the TV, they can get experience to such type of live shows or whatever it may be in the TV. Then same type of discussions and debates and dialogues, these three are very crucial in the classroom. We have to discuss with the students and we ask them to write in the dialogue form and discuss about various issues. Debate also very important for the classroom situation. We can make them into groups and argue for a comment or whatever it may be, arguing on a general statement. Okay, sorry, not comment, arguing for a general statement. We can give a general statement, then where child can debate, he can write dialogue and discussion. Lived experiences, all those situations where child is facing or whatever he is seeing in the society. Then they can compare, analyze and draw conclusions. Then community resources, we have to utilize these resources while teaching learning process. Current events, current topics we have to discuss in the classroom. Dramatization and role play are very important. These child is able to explore that whatever material is given, then he has to express in a creative way. Creative expression also more important. Okay, next method is seminar method. Seminar means, seminars are simply a group of people coming together for the discussion or learning of specific techniques and topics. There is a keynote speaker should be there and several other speakers in a seminar. They will be talking about same topic, but in a different perspectives, different fields and areas. Several themes can be given and it is scheduled in a different rooms or different groups, and throughout the seminar they will make their choice of presentation, their topics, and that seminar they will discuss in detail. This is a modern advanced method of teaching learning process, seminar method. And debate as a method of teaching. Debate method is widely used for teaching certain topics of political science, not only political science, current issues in a large group also. People can be divided into some groups and they can have a type of for and against discussions, debates we can have. Teacher has to utilize this debate effectively to increase the students' involvement and interest. Participation during this debate will enhance the child's critical thinking and abilities. Okay? When a teacher uses the debate as a framework for learning, he hopes to get students to conduct comprehensive research in the topic and gather the supporting evidences, engage the children and even the delegates' tasks and improve proper communication skills. So, with the help of this debate, we can enhance students' abilities, okay, such as critical thinking, collaborative learning, child is engaged, and we have to provide, they will gather supporting evidences, how to retrieve the information and delegate different types of tasks they will have, and they will improve their communication skill, and they will develop leadership qualities and team skills also. Then panel discussion is a teaching learning technique in which a few persons carry on the conversation in front of the people. At the end of the conversation, those who are sitting there also, they can also participate. So, audience can put questions and experts will give the answers and clarify their points and their doubts. So, panel discussion, like some students can be asked to sit, prepare and sit all the concepts, then at least 10 to 12 students can sit for a panel, then the remaining students can put questions and get that answers and clarify their doubts. This is also a method where we can discuss and explore elaboratively and find the answers. Members in the panel discussion are as follows: an instructor should be there, moderator, panelist and audience should be there. A panel discussion is designated to provide a group an opportunity to hear, where that knowledgeable speakers will be saying or talking about the specific issue, presenting the information and discuss on that issue. Okay, that panel discussion will help the students or audience to clarify their doubts, evaluate their positions regarding specific issues and topics which are discussed. It increases their understanding of the positions and understanding in depth of that topic. In that content area, the child will get more knowledge, comprehensive and understanding also. Instructional benefits of panel discussions are the following: it encourages social learning, it helps in achieving higher cognitive and affective objectives, cognitive levels will be increased, the child is able to understand, apply in the new situations, it is a kind of social learning. It is used to develop ability of logical thinking and problem solving ability. Critical thinking, logical thinking, problem solving ability it gives. It develops capacity to respect others' ideas and views, and ability to analyze others' ideas and views also. They have to understand each other, then they have to give respect to others' ideas and views and abilities, and they will analyze what are they are talking about. Then projects, individual and group projects. Teaching learning of political science or any social sciences can also take place by assigning individual and group projects to students. Individual projects makes the learner complete a task, understand it thoroughly, Google it or do it by themselves, and they are able to understand and perceive the knowledge. Okay, the given task is done by the individual learner, then it is called as individual project. If it is given to a group of people, they are able to complete the task. There collaborative learning comes. Participatory learning, collaborating, respecting others' ideas, and they will learn together. People interaction will be there, they will learn from one another. Information on a particular topic they will collect in a groups, then it is called as group projects. Group projects help the students perform certain tasks collectively. In the process, they are able to gather information from various sources and also opportunity to learn together. They will learn from one another. Then questioning. A questioning is a technique actually, it is a skill. To get correct answer, we have to ask a correct question. Question in any sentence which has an interrogative form or function So, we will put a question mark, we say no, interrogative, then only it is called as a question. In classroom setting, teacher questions are defined as structural cues or stimuli, means where the child will be answering when the teacher puts correct question. That conveys to students to understand that question properly first, then they have to link. Okay, one question should be in a logical and it has to give the answer that the child has to think and give the answer. So, it is an interrogative statement. Questioning is an important teaching skill as well as teaching learning method. Questioning method to make teaching learning process, it makes teaching learning process very lively and participatory. Questions are the most important tool of thinking. It is tool for reasoning, learning and teaching. Whenever we put a question, the child will be thinking and answering that question. So, that question should be grammatically correct, structured, well formed. It should be should give correct explanation or answer to that question. When we want to retrieve an answer from the student, we have to put a proper question. Good quality question can stimulate thinking among students. Questioning as a pedagogical tool in a classroom also, we can utilize it as a tool in the classroom. Questioning in a classroom teaching learning process will be enhanced when you question a student. Sometimes it is a very best technique. If total children are making some kind of noise, then you can ask, okay, question, you say answer. So, everybody become alert when you ask a question to a particular person by calling a name or by just showing like this which side you are getting a type of noise. So, it makes actually a kind of pedagogical tool. It is an important tool. Questioning is an important tool in the classroom to make estimate what are the previous knowledge child have. Actually, we put some questions in the motivation part. Whenever we enter into the class, we put some motivation questions and retrieve the knowledge from the student. Okay, what he has, what type of previous knowledge and experiences that child has. Then we have to stimulate that thought process. The child has to think and answer. Then to encourage and promote the discussion, brainstorming. So, child will be relating, analyzing, synthesizing, conceptualizing, then only he is able to answer. So, we are processing means when a question is asked to the child, input is put in the form of a question, the child will be processing by thinking all his cognitive abilities he utilizes, thinking, recognizing and understanding, comparing, differentiating, then only he can answer. Okay, by doing such type of brainstorming. Brainstorming means the child has to think critically, logically, reason out, analyze, synthesize, then only he can come to a conclusion. So, to promote a questioning technique, it promotes discussion and brainstorming. Then questioning in classroom teaching learning process, it estimates the knowledge to stimulate the thought process, it promotes the discussion, it facilitates learner to acquire, organize and use whatever the information he has and evaluate, then only he can answer. It creates interest, curiosity and creativity among the learners. Then we can utilize this questioning technique to assess the level of learning, how far they have learned, how much they have learned, what we have to teach to make them understand, how far they are able to understand the concept. For that we have to question. Then whenever we put a question, child will be actively involved in that lesson and we can evaluate very easily whether the child is following or not. We can check their progress and by putting some questions we can give them homework and then child is able to write those answers and bring to the class. Then and there also we can get the answer, then we can evaluate ourselves also. It develops critical thinking and inquiry skills. It nurtures insight by exposing them to new relationships. It stimulates the students' knowledge. They will think, why I did not answer that question, what happened to me if they are not able to answer, or what is the correct answer. That curiosity level also increases. If the child is not able to get the answer, then he will go home and sit there and he will Google it and YouTube or some other, refers a textbook or something else. He will get his knowledge. Okay.
ఓకే సో క్వశ్చనింగ్ టెక్నిక్ ఎలా ఉండాలంటారు?
Questioning should be well structured.
Okay.
We have to retrieve the answer correctly from the student. Then it should have logical sequencing should be correct, grammatically correct. Then only the child's curiosity, interest will be developed. Then the child is able to think critically. I told he has to first analyze, synthesize and then come to a conclusion, then only he is able to answer. There are different approaches: inductive approach, deductive approach and constructive methods. Okay, inductive approach to teaching learning, here focus is more on from moving from particular instance to general conclusion. Inductive approach is particular to general. While adopting this approach, students are provided with concrete example, correct example we have to give. Then with the help of that correct example, the child is able to draw conclusion and coming to a point where he can generalize. So, inductive approach to teaching learning focus more on particular to general conclusion. We have to adapt this method by giving concrete example and abstract example. Concrete is particular to that situation, very much specific to that. Abstract is something vague, something unknown, something abstract means not known, it is something hidden. Okay. But here in this inductive approach we have to give a concrete example, and then only child one example is not enough, 2, 3, 4 examples, then the child is able to draw a conclusion. Then deductive approach, this is this approach to teaching learning process where generalization first we give, then asking them to verify these answers to the particular examples. We give general all men are mortal, okay, all people are mortal, everybody dies, okay. So that today that dog has that dog died or something happened, something else, all creatures dies, okay. From that general statements to particular example, this is called as deductive approach. Then constructivist approach. Constructivist approach to teaching learning is based on the principles of learning, which emphasizes constructing knowledge by linking with previous knowledge. Whatever is already child is having, with that previous knowledge we are constructing the new knowledge.
Yes.
By hooking it, by linking it. What certain every child will be having a type of previous knowledge. With that previous knowledge we have to link. In this approach, knowledge and learning are acquired together, both the teacher and learner. Nowadays we are saying shift from only acquiring knowledge to information, we have to retrieve whatever the source may be, and from that we have to analyze, conclude and find out the results. We have to draw the conclusion. In this constructive approach, 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 says that child will have a knowledge, then we have to show him the correct path. that constructive knowledge we have to only scaffold, only protecting by whether going correct path or not. That is called as constructivist approach. Dramatization, it is also a method nowadays. This method also enhances the child's abilities, thinking abilities. Okay, dramatization means reconstruction of some events or situations which are happened in the past or according to the situation or present. Okay, whatever is going on. So same thing we can depict in the classroom. For example, GST. All those people those who are affected by GST, then we can ask the child to in a hilarious way, or sometime we can ask them to what are the consequences, pros and consequences of that GST in a dramatic form. Okay, the past or previous knowledge, whatever they have, present knowledge, previous knowledge combined together, they will bring into a dialogue form. Then that dramatization takes place. So it provides scope for expression and imagination. Child will think what are the consequences. Maybe he might have seen one or two situations, but child automatically think, imagine, and his creative expression comes out. Okay, it sharpens learning. In dramatization, they are playing that role. Okay, acting according to. For example, if you take Bharatam or Ramayana, so he has to say the dialogues as they say. Okay, like Duryodhana says, he has to rehearse, revise, and that he has to execute, I can say. Yes. He has to deliver that whatever expression. Same means he has to put himself into that character. So then it sharpens the learning. He has to remember all the slokas or whatever dialogues, everything in a sequential order. Then it appeals to emotions also. Same kind of emotion they should have, whatever the character they are performing, and it removes complexes, inferiority complex or superiority complex, whatever it may be the child has. This dramatization even shapes the personality. Then they have to according to that character, no? So they shape their personality. History is a subject which deals with events, human ideas, sentiments which have no material shape. Okay, history, it goes off. So to teach that history, child may not be interested to learn all the concept, that historical years, dates, everything in a sequential order. If you make them in a episodes, episode after episode, one after the other, if you put, then this dramatization is a good tool to remember, to learn, to express their ideas. Their imagination also improves. Then child has to imagine, it is a history, how it could be, what it could be, how I have to enact. Then the child memory also enhances, sharpens learning. It is impossible to translate whatever the audio visual symbols, in whatever we show certain type of symbol or sometimes certain type of these things, means abstract, I can say. Abstract things we cannot, child cannot perceive. That type of things we can enact and show the child get the clear idea. Then there are different kinds of dramatizations, such as the play. This is performed by school children or adults using proper costumes, stage setting, everything. Then pigeons, importance is given to settings and action, and it is very less speed. It has no place in the classroom. We cannot do this in the classroom. It needs a great settings. It is time, equipment, energy it requires, more time, energy also it requires. So child cannot perform this, means it is a long time duration, then child has to perform. Then pantomime, participant can express themselves through body actions. Okay, mime is without dialogue. Pantomime with the body expression, a kind of music it can have. Then it can be performed in the classroom in an ordinary dress. Child can wear his own dress, normal dress, no need of costume, makeup or anything. It is particularly we can call those shy children to enact, because they don't need to say a dialogue. Then tableau, it is an act without words. It is also just, this is emotional theme where attention is paid towards only on the costume and scenery. They will be sitting in a sitting posture or standing posture with the costume, but no dialogue in the tableau. Puppetry, it presents ideas without extreme, there is no need of big dialogues, no need of costume also, but puppets we can use dolls, handmade puppets. We can utilize these dolls to teach hand puppets, glove puppets. There are different kinds of puppets. Then we can create humor in the classroom. Then classical plays we can depict with this with the help of this puppetry. Storytelling, narration of stories we can have. Then puppets all children will like. They can make their puppets with their socks. Then like they can make Doraemon or whatever it may be. Finger puppets, glove puppets, hand sponge puppets, different, any doll which where we can where the child or anybody can stand behind the scene and only action you show, narrate the story. So puppetry also a good tool or technique in teaching learning process.
Okay. సో గురుకుల్ విద్యార్థులకి దీనికి సంబంధించి పెడగాగీకి మోడర్న్ టెక్నిక్స్కి సంబంధించి ఎలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి, వాళ్ళు ఏ విధంగా ప్రిపేర్ అయితే వాళ్ళకి ఎగ్జామ్కి బాగుంటుంది?
They have to study traditional methods and as well as modern methods also. Both are important. Traditional methods, lecture method, demonstrations. But field visits also very important. Field visits they can go to institutions, visiting the government institutions. For example, I told RBI, post office, such type of institutions, they have to go for such type of tours. These are also enhance the teaching learning process. Then individual and group projects we have discussed. These are the new techniques. Nowadays everywhere in the classroom they are asking child to do certain activity and come to class. In CCE method, I hope child has to do a project work, either individual work or group work. Dramatization, debates, discussions, these are all participatory learning. Okay. Constructivism also more important. So they have to focus more on these modern methods, seminars, problem solving, inquiry, scientific method, these projects, panel discussions, debates, dialogues, and the child lived experiences. Living context is more important, where the child is living lived experiences every day, whatever the child is facing.
Okay. So please explain about seminar method.
Seminar method means where we will focus on one topic, on a single topic. Number of people will be presenting their presentation, their views, their ideas. It will be time schedule will be there. Then there is a keynote address, means the subject expert, one expert should be there in seminar method. He will give overall knowledge or whatever it may be about the topic. He will instigate the process. Actually he initiates the process, whatever it may be, to go into the deeper into the subject knowledge. Different participants, individuals present their own ideas, then they will have a type of discussion and question. They will explore on that topic, that is called as